All right, we are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Happy, oh my God, Tuesday, Tuesday. I keep pausing for today's date for whatever the reasons is. How is everybody tonight? I hope you're all well. Let me try not to be disheveled. All right, so we are here, yes, and even though it says Joanne's healing within, well, yeah, we sort of are healing within, but it's not Joanne's healing within. I'll correct that later. Unfortunately, I'm still learning how to utilize this lovely platform. So, anyhow, Kitty, introduce yourself as I go and make sure we are where we need to be.
I'm Kitty Foss, storytelling astrologer of the Hero's Journey Astrology. I am also co-owner of Intuition of the Soul, which is a free private Facebook group that allows people to come and explore their spirituality. Different speakers come on board, different things that we do. Um, and today I am just working on getting through the day. That's my big concentration today. I woke up, I don't know about you, Joanne, but I woke up feeling like I had drunk about 18 cups of coffee. I was busy, buzzing, and it's kind of stayed that way all day.
Oh wow, interesting. I woke up fine, and I'd say about maybe what time was it? After 4 o'clock, I all of a sudden got the need that I needed a nap. So I went and lay down. I took a nap from I'd say about like 5:30. Intentionally, it was to take just an hour nap, but being transparent, I literally just woke up 15 minutes ago. So here I am. Hi everyone. Yeah, I mean I was awake, but I was still laying down. But anyway, so no, I get that, but I'm not buzzing. I'm not really like extremely tired, but I just felt the need to take a nap, and I've been honoring those opportunities since I can. Why not? Because I have a feeling at some point or another. Not sure if it's going to be very soon, but I do have a feeling that though that luxury of just being able to go take a nap is going to eventually um, go away because I have a sense that I'm going to get a little bit more busier, where I'm not going to be in the house as much to be able to just go and decide just to lay down. Now that you know my whole story, folks, I want to just say hi to those who are watching on Twitter if you are there. And if you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and give us a thumbs up, share it out. And then, of course, we're going to land on my Facebook page, see who's hanging out with us there, if anybody. Because who knows where people are today. And if everybody else is feeling the same way Kitty and I are feeling, hey, you know, people might be napping. So,
It is, it is truly, this is the energy we're coming to. That's why we kind of called this the wild card eclipse because it's a wild card and I would recommend anybody who's watching this right now, I hope Joanne you have sometimes just set aside in that day to be, whether it's go for a walk, whether it's go for a swim, whether it's just to do an extra meditation, whether it's to take a
well,
shower.
I always take time, set aside time for those little things. So I guess reality of it all is I'm gonna set time for more. Want to show you something, although you won't really be able to see it. All that little writing, not much writing, but this is a letter to the universe. I
Oh,
wrote a
I
letter.
love that idea.
Yes, I wrote a letter to the universe in reference to something that I am setting an intention on. And when I set big intentions, not to cut Kitty off, but I just did, sorry. When I look to manifest really big intentions, and I do grade them in reference to something tiny to something medium to something big. When I'm looking to manifest something big, I address the universe with a letter by saying dear, and I put in very specific information in this letter. I'm not finished with it yet, and once I am finished, I will of course end it with love always, me. and I'm gonna go and stick it under a crystal grid for about 7 days to give it really powerful energies. And then from there, I will the next full moon. I will actually put it in the full moon's energy, and then from there, just do whatever needs to be done, and just know that once that all happens, the
You
universe
know,
will have answered my letter.
I'm going to disappear from the screen, everyone, for just a minute.
We're gonna all do this. We're both gonna do this today. Is we're gonna do a lot of magic today. Yes, because that's what
Um,
today's about. Magic.
because that next, of course, just so people understand, that next full moon is a lunar eclipse
Ah, yes.
in Scorpio. And so it's interesting because this is a hybrid lunar eclipse that really starts in Aries and then moves into hits Taurus. And usually eclipses are opposite signs of the zodiac. But this is going to be in Scorpio, which is where our nodal axis is, and that's usually what these eclipses are about, is that where our north and south node are. But because of the unusual energy, unusual position, unusual time we're in, this is called a hybrid, and it is a very rare, when I say rare, like less than 3% of all eclipses are these hybrids. Part of what makes it hybrid is it starts out as a full solar eclipse. This is on 420, which I love spirit 420. Um, on 420, and then it becomes partial very shortly, just like it starts in Aries and then crosses into um, Taurus. The new moon is at Eastern Standard Time 12:13, and it moves to Taurus, that same moon that's part of this new moon, at 1234 on 12:34 a.m. And then the sun moves to Taurus at 4:14 a.m. And so I'm sure Joanne's kind of adding up these numbers.
Yeah, say those numbers again,
So 12,
and say which one is for.
okay, 12:13 Eastern Standard Time is the actual new moon, beginning of the eclipse energy. All right.
In Taurus.
In Aries.
In Aries.
Yes. Of course, a new moon is when the sun and the moon are lined up. This is the second new moon in Aries that we've
Oh,
had.
okay, yes.
Um, and then at 12:34, 1234, the that same moon that aligned with the Aries sun moves to Taurus at 12:34 a.m. and the eclipse is still going on. So
Uh,
now it's in Taurus. It's become partial and it's in Taurus.
so theoretically, then we have the new moon that's in Aries, and then eventually turns into the new moon in Taurus.
Doesn't turn into the new moon because a new moon is
I'm
when it's
sorry, not turning. Poor
yeah.
language.
Um, it, it's just that the moon moves to Taurus, but the eclipse is still going on, so it is still journeying through Taurus. A new moon is exactly when the sun and the moon line up at that moment.
Yes, yes,
And so once it moves to Taurus, it's no longer in any kind of alignment with the sun because the
yes.
sun doesn't move till 4:14 a.m. into Taurus. So it's an interesting, different way. And I'm hearing more and more astrologers, if you just whiz through any YouTube, talking about this eclipse very suddenly, like we're all getting a message like, this is big time. Eclipses are wild cards anyway, but this is the wild card of the wild card. So I made a comment yesterday, the other day, about playing a game called Euchre, and a lot of people don't know what it is, but it's a game where it's a very bit Midwest game where you bid whatever is going to be trump in your game. And this is like having, it's actually more like hearts, where you've got the ace of hearts, any ace is powerful, any heart is powerful in an eclipse, but well, this is really the jack of hearts, is the most powerful card, and this is by far the most powerful wild card, kind of stepping forward because it's rare. and it's got
Hmm.
a couple energies in it. It's got male, female, because it's Aries and Taurus. It's total and partial. So this is a hybrid, and that's kind of what's happening to us right now. Human beings hybrids. Uh, there are new hybrid pieces that have awakened, kind of happened just last month. And so we're all becoming very aware that things are different, but what that exactly means. And the way I also see it out in the multiverse is, or our universe, is it is activating a lot of people. And without understanding, there's, like this morning, my irritation could end up sounding like anger and frustration and all of those things. I kind of heard it from my husband when he was driving today. He kept saying stuff. I'm like, calm down, like calm down, you know. But just that kind of tension we're driving through. So um,
Yes. So
it,
those numbers we were speaking on, now let me make sure I have it right. 1213 is when the new moon is in Aries.
yes,
1213, and that's Eastern time. All these times are Eastern time, correct? Yes.
yes,
So that 1213 works out to be our seven energy.
that's
So
our
it's
year's energy.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's our seven energy, which works out to be a seven, which is all about taking that time to quiet down, to reflect on the contracts that we do have with one another so we can bring more balance into our energies. After all, when we think about the sun's energy entering into Taurus, which is all about our relationships, and I don't know about you, but I like to have balance with my relationships. I like to make sure I like to be in alignment with the people I connect with. So that
well,
brings balance into my life.
and Venus, of course, rules both Libra, which is balance a relationship, and Taurus, which is about what we value, what we find beautiful, our prosperity, our abundance.
Yes.
Um, and so, and with, of course, this going on, a big piece of this, because of the movement into that Taurus energy, is we have a T square with our Pluto in. So a T square is just what it sounds like, folks. It's where it forms a T in a 90-degree angle and it pushes. It's strong, but it's pushing us to really step into what our soul wants us to do in this lifetime with our
Mm,
north and south node axis. So
yes.
that's AXIS, I'm
Uh
saying.
huh. Got it. And then at 1234, when we have that transition, so to speak, where the moon is entering into Taurus, yes,
Yeah.
at twelve thirty
Hmm.
four, that adds up to a 10. Which is interesting because as the moon's entering into Taurus, it's like that new beginning for all of us. So
Yeah.
even the moon is preparing us for that new energy that's coming in, and that new
Yeah.
awakening, that new way of doing things. And I know for me, when I feel I start to get a I'm going to use the word I'm hearing is irritable. I get irritated and antsy
Hmm.
when when there's a shift going on. And I would always sit back when working with my other astrologer mentor. I'd always call him and say, okay, what's going on? This is, of course, before I became so astute with astrology. What's going on that I'm feeling antsy and almost frustrated? And he'd always laugh and he says, well, that's because right now we're transitioning from, let's say, the sun might be transitioning into another sign, or there's something going on with the moon. And I'm so sensitive to this energy that it would literally make me irritated. Like I would want, it was like I would want to get out of my own skin. It's like, can I just peel out and step out just for a little bit, just to sort of come back in and recenter? And that's literally how I would always feel. It's like I would really want to unzipper, take off that layer and step away and then come back. So that 1234, that 10 energy makes a lot of sense. And also that 10, when we think about astrology, it is our soul's calling. And I truly believe we all should be stepping into our soul's calling. And I have a feeling that this energy we're moving into is going to help many of us become more align, more curious, especially for those who may not know what their soul's calling is. Because I hear that from many clients when they come to me. It's like, well, how do you know what your soul's calling is? Why don't I know what my soul's calling is? And I know for me, the example I always give is your soul's calling is theoretically something that you enjoy, that you feel a pull to want to do. You feel like you have to do something, you enjoy doing it, and it's not a job. And for you, Kitty, how do you know that you're in your soul's calling? I mean, I know you're in your soul's calling, but how do you know for sure you're in your soul's calling?
Well, I use the astrology, so I use what's called the North Node. That's what my soul is here to learn about, and you look at your whole nodal axis. Um, it is very much, and so the way I know it is when things are lining up, but it also includes that being activated and trying not to judge what that activation is. Like, okay, there is something happening in me, and sometimes it's very much the human realm of emotions and things that I've associated, or sometimes it's an activation that is beyond that understanding. That's much more about an awareness and an awakening. And I know one of the things I'm working out around my soul's calling is be curious, just what you're talking about, and not judge it. And
Yes.
that's a very important thing that's um, going to really step forward after this eclipse, especially for about a month because of planetary placements, especially. But a new compassion for yourself that there is clarity coming in, but I don't quite have all of it yet. And I'm not sure we ever have all of it. I mean, I think when I think back where I was even 3 and 4 years ago, I would have been thrilled to be where I am right now. And yet I'm still aware there's more things coming forward to take care of. So,
It's quite interesting you say that because for me, I'd say this is the most confusing path that I'm on right now. Up until 7 months ago, I've always had a very clear picture to what I thought my journey looked like.
mhm.
And 7 months ago, it became very foggy, and of course I'm curious. I'm curious to know like what this what this expansion is going to look like. What is it that I'm stepping into? I do believe that yes, or at least I tell myself I believe that yes, it's going to look a lot of the same of what I do, but every time I say that, and I say that with hoping that I get confirmation that that's true. But every time I say that, I get this little hesitation, like, is it really gonna look similar to what it was? And I don't know. So I don't know. I stutter.
Well,
I
part of the reason it's changed is as you've gotten more understanding, what was seemed so clear and able was very 3D, grounded in what you knew. And as your paradigm shifts, everybody, there is more clarity though than there was last year,
I'm gonna
frankly.
take make a magic trick. I'll be right back. Keep going, Kitty.
So there is more clarity that has come in. And part of the clarity is realizing, wow, things really have shifted. And what I once thought was me isn't necessarily what I'm feeling drawn to. And giving yourself that permission that I may just be doing something completely differently than I once was aware of. And so, but that's part of this wild card. That's why it's so important to be quiet on Thursday and see what's coming up for you. See where this hybrid energy is taking you. Just like Joanne said, 7 months ago, um, her life did kind of a hybrid change. She was still doing what she felt drawn to do, but not in the way she understood it to be. And so I was just saying, you've already been going through your hybrid. I'm still doing what I was drawn to do, but I'm not doing it in the way I thought I'd be doing it. And so that's
Exactly.
part of what this is. So you have an idea of what your soul's calling, and it's much clearer than last year when we're like, what is this? What is this? We have arrived in a new place where we know this is where we stepping forward to do these things and giving ourselves permission to do it completely differently than we once thought it was going to be, you
Exactly.
know.
So yeah, so definitely I'm curious in reference to, let's say, should we say like 6 months from now, or based on your guidance, do you feel that I'll gain more clarity sooner than 6 months from now?
January.
Yeah, so we're looking at about 6 months from now. Yeah. So theoretically, I'm curious to know, and for right now, I'm just going to continue to sort of ride this wave and take advantage of the moments that, if I feel like I want to go and lay down, I go and lay down because I can for right now. Because
Well,
eventually,
I think that that's the things that are developing the skills to navigate the next part. Okay, well, since I don't know, I'm not seeing it long term, what I'm being told to do in this moment builds those skills to start to see longer term. We do start with, and that's where we are right now. That's why it's kind of important on Thursday to make sure we hold our own peace. It's a wild card. And what comes forth with the wild card? How is that going to be played? Because if I can start to tune in my next right step, the other ones start to, I'm able to see them more and more. And it's coming to understand that.
yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I
I
love
mean,
that.
there's quite a few things in play. First of all, there's a conjunction with that Aries energy and Chiron asking
Yeah.
us in that time, what is my authentic self wanting me to do? There is
Hmm.
uh, energy with Mars that day that is stepping forward for us to align our, will. Um, Aquarius, Uranus and Mercury are going to be conjunct later in that day. So that may have some financial volatility or reshaking what I think I need to do or be that particular day. So there's a lot that's happening. This is the end of a phase. This is a much clearer sense of who we are and how we fit into the group as part of this eclipse. And this is the ultimate I am awareness. And then we move into this Taurus that slows us way down. Taurus only moves at the pace it needs to move. So it's no mistake that it comes after all this Aries start, 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 start. Now, what did I start? Where am I going from there? But this eclipse will go all the way on to into because of all these positions we'll be feeling it into 2025. Usually eclipses, we sit in their shadow for 6 months. We're sitting in
This
this one
one's
for
gonna be
over
longer.
much
Yes.
longer. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So how about we pull some cards and see what guidance we can all get to get ourselves prepared if we are not prepared already. And I believe that even though yes, the hybrid new moon takes place this Thursday, many of us are already feeling this energy as of now.
Oh, I certainly am. Holy cow.
Yeah. So honor your
I, sh-
body, most important.
I guess I'm going to pull charms because for some reason none of my cards are right here,
Oh,
which is
okay.
which is unusual. So I'm just going to pull energy cards.
Alrighty.
So I'll use some more specific um, questions. So what's a good energy to deal with this transitional time? And this one. Oh, I got two. Gemini,
Oh,
communication. And right now, Venus is in Gemini. So that's a big piece of this Taurus energy. And Leo. Leo being the energy of ourselves, the energy uh, of who we are, the I am. So really tuning into who am I, who do I want to be, kind of look where your sun is for that. Of course, I have a Leo moon anyway. And then Gemini, what am I trying to experience? Gemini is the sign of what do I want to experience? What is it It's a very much being able to stand in the middle and see the continuum. And what is it I want to write, communicate, understand, experience of who I am? Leo, what makes me roar? So
I love that,
that,
and I love that you used your little charms there, and Gemini and Leo showed up, and I think this card would have gone nicely with any charm that would have popped in. But the card I got was self
uh,
love, which I don't believe it matters on what moon it is, what full moon it is, whether we're having an eclipse or not. I think self love is something that we all have to start really implementing into our routines every single day, because we're such in a habit of looking outside for love.
mhm.
And so many of us are even in a habit of that we have to go buy ourselves something so we can feel loved, material possessions. So this is about self love. How can you love yourself where it's not something that's going to cost you money to go do, where you can actually move into that space to loving on you, whether that might look like a bubble bath, a walk in nature, sticking your feet in the sand, which, believe it or not, is not my favorite thing to do, but okay. Yeah, you don't like that neither.
Love it. No, love
Oh,
it.
oh,
Love to.
okay. She loves it. I was gonna say you on a beach. How can you not like that?
Oh,
Yes.
I love the beach. I love the sand. I love though it's so funny because I've been talking about this nodal access activation is shaking the sand out constantly and how
Yes,
it gets
yes, I remember you
everywhere.
saying that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so we have that self love, and then the card, the chakra connected is the root chakra, which also perfectly aligned with Kitty's analogy about shaking out the sand, because it is about getting grounded. And hey, if going to the beach helps ground your energy, then go to the beach. If getting outside into nature grounds your energy, do that as well. Do what you need to do so you could be focused. You could be grounded. You can install more balance into your energy field, your mind, your body, your spirit, especially the mind. Because if you find yourself being distracted and disorientated, that's going to create an energy you do not want to bring in. So pay attention to what it is you are focused on. Then our powerful number 7-3, which works out to be our 10. And if you haven't heard Kitty and I talk about this at least 1,000 times, you'll get to hear it again. That 7-3 is the 10, your soul's calling. That's your North Node energy. So, as we were chatting about it before, if you are not aware of what your soul's calling is, and you don't know how to read your natal chart yet, feel free to reach out to Kitty to learn what your North Node energy is all about so you can be prepared to step into your soul's calling. Especially for those of you out there that refer to the word as retirement. So if you are in that space where you're getting ready to retire and thinking that, okay, there's nothing left for me to do, well, you're sadly mistaken, because you still have a whole lot of energy that needs to be applied to that soul's calling. And remember that 10 is really about your new beginning. It's the next chapter of your life, which could very well involve a tablespoon or a cupful or a gallon of self love. So apply that energy.
Well, and the thing, I like that idea with retirement because it doesn't mean I have to take another job. That's not what it, but what am I trying to accomplish? I might have, a North Node in Cancer. And so one of the things I'm going to be very aware of is how I interact with people. I am 62 years old and have lived in a retirement kind of community, not any longer. And one of the things I noticed is there are people that fill their life with joy and still are looking at what's my soul want to learn, product and process, how are they with people, how do they nurture themselves? And then there are people that are kind of just waiting around. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Um,
Exactly. They're waiting for, they're waiting, as I refer to it, they're waiting for their pulse to slowly, slowly stop to the point where they're no longer here. You
well,
know,
and for some people, there is a revisiting of the last time that they were in big groups that wasn't around work or whatever. So there's some behavior that reappears sometimes in communities, not all communities, but in some that is very reminiscent of some of my junior high and high school years, because that's what people know. And that's part of looking for your soul's growth is it's not that how I was might not be revisited, but is it revisited with me with understanding what my life has taught me, how I am with other people, how I can be part of a community.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
you know,
And as we speak of the north nodes energies and our soul's purpose, our soul's calling, and I'm gonna have Kitty pull some more charms in a minute. But before she does hers, if she hasn't already, the next card I pulled is higher education, and that higher education is the higher wisdom. What can you learn through this energy we're experiencing? Allowing yourself to move more into your higher consciousness, your higher awareness, becoming more aware of what is possible. What is possible in this time of maybe stillness. Maybe yes, you are in that next lane of retirement. Maybe you are in that next lane of just shifting gears from a job that you had and you're moving into this mindset of like, well, maybe I'm supposed to be doing something different, work wise, calling wise, your soul's purpose wise, using your higher consciousness, tapping into that higher wisdom. And as you may very well be in that space of shifting lanes, it's really important to be kind to yourself in this journey as well while you're on your journey, to be kind. 3 and 6 is our 9 energy. So it is about letting things go, packing things up, decluttering things so you can lighten up the baggage that you do hold on to. And that's such an interesting term, the baggage that we hold on to, because we all have baggage, whether it's emotional, physical, mental, psychological, or all the baggage that we carry in our homes. All that stuff we can start really looking at and asking, well, do I really need to hold on to this anymore? And eliminating whatever sentimental values you might have to whatever it is. It's how can I start letting things go so things can get lighter, so I can begin to transform. Because if you know anything about feng shui, the less stuff you have in your space, the better you can think, because there's less clutter around you. So as you have less things around you and you tidy things up, it will allow you to think in that space of higher consciousness, and it will also allow you and help you to transform to that next step you need to take. But be kind to yourself as you go through this whole process of rediscovering or discovering yourself for the first time.
that's a very important word. We continually talk about is compassion. Have it for yourself, and that will allow you also to work on that. Be curious, not judgmental. That goes for yourself. Curious as to why this activates me. Curious as to why, um, more as this discovering this. Wow, as I'm saying this, my head starts going. Um, it's interesting because the charms I pulled, um, because my question was, so what after this eclipse? What should I be looking at? You can't make this stuff up. First came Taurus,
Ah,
then came Gemini, and then came Cancer
oh wow.
all together. So it's the next 3 months. It is the next 3 cycles in order. It came out Taurus, Gemini, then Cancer. So in
Yes.
this next 3 months, this is about that more than that paying attention. This is more, this is exactly about it is here. It is here to line that up, have compassion for yourself, have things in front of you because we are in this age of Aquarius. This is about the vision you want to hold for yourself through this. How do I move at the pace that makes me comfortable? That's my first practice with Taurus. In Gemini, I'm going to experience it now. And then Cancer, nurture it. So it's the next 3 months in order was
Yes. And
was the
and I think
message.
I also think we have the help of Mercury as it goes retrograde to help us
Hmm.
review the past. What is it that we need to review our communication about? What are we learning? What have we learned in the last couple of months? So we can then look forward to what's coming in the next 3 months. And I think that works out really perfectly, especially because obviously Gemini is one of the months we're speaking of, in reference to Taurus, Gemini, and then Cancer. So I think that's perfectly aligned with that. So I'm going to pull one more card in regards to all this energy. Ah, perfectly. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Rebirth. And that's exactly what we get to do is we get to be reborn. We get to revisit. Now, theoretically, if you're not aware of this, you don't need to wait for a new moon, a full moon, a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse to be reborn. You don't even need to wait for your birthday to have a rebirth. Every day, every hour of the day, you can decide right then and there that I want to do this slightly different. The only difference is that when we do have this amazing energy, it helps us to transition into that rebirth, to see yourself in this new light, see yourself in the vibration, the frequency that you want to see yourself in. And again, we're back to that pink energy, which is what we just had before, compassion, compassion, compassion. And we're back to that 2 and 1 again, which is our 3, which is all about that the Mercury's energy, the Gemini's energy, just that communication with self. Writing down, like I mentioned earlier, where I wrote a letter to the universe, writing down what it is you would like to see as your rebirth. What intentions do you want to set up for your next part, next chapter of your life? Because you are the creator. And putting the energy out to the universe, to having the universe help you connect with the people you want to collaborate with. And if you didn't know that you can do that, yes, you could put that energy out there and align yourself with whomever it is. If you're looking for a mentor, if you're looking to take on courses, put that energy out there and then just watch and see how everything falls into play. And then you can go back to your letter and check off everything that you've manifested because you created it. I love
Mhm.
that.
Right. And my last one that came out was it's about truth. We're traveling a long distance.
Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yes.
Truth and learning. Sagittarius is the sign of higher learning. It is the Jupiter rules it. It's about our expansion. And that's really what this is all about. The expansion of what it is to be human. We are
Yes.
becoming more of a hybrid, folks. That DNA is waking up. We're understanding our ancestral roots that are beyond human, and that's part of what's being activated now.
Yes.
Okay.
And also fun too is as of May 16th, just about a month away, Jupiter enters Taurus. So that's going to be a lot of fun in reference to helping us to expand that higher learning as well. And
And we'll start to enter retrograde season again in about a little over a month.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
I
Well,
don't,
now that
I,
Mercury's there, I mean, this is definitely the starting point of that.
right.
Yes.
All planets retrograde in most of them in a year, except for Mars. Mars is every 23 months. We just came out of a very long Mars
Yes,
retrograde.
yes. So we don't need that one to go retrograde.
Um,
Just around.
and it did a lot of fine tuning of our beliefs, experiencing, because it was in Gemini, experiencing what we believe, experiencing, is this what I want to go to the mat about and wrestle for? So,
Exactly, exactly.
very much.
Very, very good. Very fun energy. And again, as Kitty mentioned earlier, please, please, please take time to R&R on the 420. Take time to R&R. Yes.
I'd like to invite everybody on 420 to come to Intuition of the Soul at 420 on 420, because we did that on purpose, um, Eastern Standard Time. Every time the sun changes, uh, my wonderful friend Tamara comes on and does a specialized yoga meditation along with I talk about the astrological aspects of what Taurus means. And so there's a time if you can schedule it in, just come, do a little meditation, do a yoga meditation. So get your physical body, because this is such a physical body time. Taurus especially is a physical body time, but in general, it's been this very big physical manifestation of this hybrid human, which is why people have had headaches and side aches and heart palpitations and shortness in breath. And I'm very aware of that It has challenged some people's understanding of their mental health, all of those things. So come join us. Intuition of the Soul lasts usually about 40 minutes, about a half hour of yoga, about 15 minutes of me talking about the actual sign. And that's 420 on Intuition of the Soul at Facebook. It's a way, another place, time to be quiet and sit with that energy. So
Yes, yes. And in addition to that, and this is not my event, but I will be attending it as well. Once you've done that with Kitty, you can then come join Irene Rodriguez and I and a bunch of other amazing women in the New Moon Circle. If you're interested in joining that, you can just email and I'll give you the information, the link, and you can join us at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, of course, on Zoom to set your rituals. And she has an amazing group of women that come together in this circle. So if you want to do
I,
that,
I got I got to attend last month. It was fun. I'm going to attend again this month. So
yes, yes,
yeah,
excellent. So everyone enjoy yourself, and again, honor what your body wants you to do. Very important to honor your body. Your body says to go rest, go rest. If your body says go take a walk, take a walk. And if your body tells you I want some ice cream, go do that too, because you need to honor.
eat the piece of cake.
There you go. You need to honor. Otherwise, if you don't, you're gonna be raving that refrigerator because you did not honor something your body asked for. So go ahead and
So
do that. Till next time, Kitty and I will come back and play. I'm sure, if not this week, we'll definitely be back next week. Either way, we'll be back. Till then, enjoy this time.
yes, enjoy Thursday. So.